it's cool. It's on the same edgy kind of way of the knit cap, making a suit more accessible because, you know, you could wear like a navy worsted suit, knit tie, and like a spread collar shirt. You could wear that out, you know, with brown shoes or whatever. And if you go to like a boba shop, you'd get kind of weird looks, right? But then when you add a beanie to it, it's like, okay, this guy's kind of, you know, he's not trying to be formal. He's making a little bit of a weird effort there. So you add the beret instead. It's like, okay, it's got that kind of similar vibe to it. And as soon as I figured that out, it was like unlocked everything. I wear my beret way more now. I don't even wear my knit cap as much anymore. I have to. It's more intentional for me to wear a knit cap, than a beret, because a beret is kind of like my go-to for that kind of thing.
But you even fit one of the traditional stereotypes, so to speak, for beret wearers, which is the artsy sort of guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it works for you because of that, I think.
I will also. Okay, so I mean, but it's like the thing is, people that see people like Ethan at the boba shop with the beret, know nothing about them.
Yeah, they don't know.
That's the cool thing about clothes, is you can play pretend with them.
Right, but the thing about clothes also is that it kind of reveals who you are in a way, if you know, especially if you know where to look. So if you see Ethan, I see his tousled hair and his beard. It just altogether, it probably would give me an idea. Yeah,
His clothes.
For his number.
Every window.
And yeah, I mean, first off, I'm still
Christoph.
waiting for a girl to ask for my number while I'm wearing a beret. Christoph Waltz?
Yeah,
wonderful.
the one and only.
Okay.
Chris D'Elia.
I'm so excited. Cuckoo! Cuckoo!
That's your shallow hell.
Spectre sucks, by the way, guys. Okay, Spectre's a bad movie. All right,
It's out.
I am very disappointed. You know, if you want,
Right.
you want a real Spectre, watch You Only Live Once.
Do you want a real Spectre?
Right.
Twice, you mean?
Watch The Watchmen.
Yeah, Farrell, you should hear me sucking at changing a tire. Where's workwear anyway? Exactly, dude. You know, we live in that kind of thing. You know, Marco angrily tosses
Sucking at
berets
changing
inside
a tire is not
the
as
trash bin.
as strong of a symbol, I guess, as French guy or Black
Well,
Panther. It's-
yeah. But I mean, it's like if you
the beret
if
says
you're
something, I think, more than-
if you're intrigued by that kind of thing, then maybe it makes sense to kind of do it. Because I mean, it's like, you know, you don't have to be an African American militant socialist, but if you are inspired by them and maybe your politics line up closely to it, as you know, maybe Spencer and I do, it's like, yeah, it's a cool nod to do that. You know, it kind of makes sense. You know, when you're trying to pull things off, right? It's like, you know, you make those connotations for yourself, like
Kyoshi's cowboy boots.
yeah, you know. But even like say with workwear, right? Like even if you're not a ranch hand, you could still like looking at pictures of old ranch hands, and then you dress up and
For whatever reason.
shows that. Yeah.
But again, my point was that the beret's connotations are particularly strong, even amongst clothing. So like other stuff that ranch hands will wear, like boots and denim jackets, they aren't exactly like, you don't look at a denim jacket and think immediately, oh, must be a trucker or must be a ranch hand. It can be. It's kind of universal.
You know, well, those kinds of things. It's a little bit of like you know, a social dilution, I guess. You know, where everyone wears a trucker jacket now, or everyone wears everyone wears jeans now, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, well, so now let's kind of get into how to pull it off. So, you know, when we talk about anything in here, it's important for me, at least, and I mean, I guess Spencer might wear workwear or rugged things more intentionally with its original purpose, or with, you know, other utilitarian things. But for me, I still wear a very tailored style. It's important for me to wear things that subvert the overall vibe of the outfit. So for me, wearing it's not so much as infusing a French influence on a tailored outfit or European influence. It's more about diluting what it means to wear a suit.
Yeah.
And that I think that effect is much more important for me, and I think also much more effective in the eyes of other people. Because I think when I'm wearing a beret, and this is just me. Maybe we should start polling random people and have them on the pod. Like, hey, you saw me today. Would you be interested in talking about what you thought of me?
Oh, I thought you meant like a man on the street kind of thing, just like going up to people. Hey,
Yeah, we're gonna do a jaywalking.
Yoshi, damn! Did this dude just blow up a bridge? You're ruining people's commute.
I love blowing up bridges in this game. It's my favorite thing to do.
Take a name.
What about the Friends, like burning bridges?
Burning bridges?
Burning bridges.
It's a good song.
Love Kelly's Heroes.
Yeah. How about
what about the River Kwai?
Another good bridge. What other good bridges are there? Let's just keep naming them.
Bridge over troubled water.
There you go. This car is on fire.
Bridges of Madison County.
Bridges of Madison County. That's it.
Guys,
Bridge over
we're forgetting the most famous one. You know.
Bridges.
When there are guys robbing a bank about to expose corruption, you have to shut down
27 bridges.
Going in and out of Manhattan.
It's crazy. All 27
What about
bridges.
the game bridge?
We gotta watch that movie. I wanted to watch it. I never watched it.
I didn't want to watch it. I didn't really have much interest in it, but I'll watch it.
We'll watch it here.
Come on.
Speaking of movies, though, did you guys find any berets in the Edward Norton film you watched? Christ,
No.
What is that name? Motherless Brooklyn.
Motherless Brooklyn. There. No.
I mean, it's like
that's a
1958, right, or something. It's like late
57.
I mean, but I can imagine like a person in the village, like a Greenwich Village residents, where possibly. But
maybe. Who knows? But anyway, to go back to what I was saying, you know, it's about, you know, if we ask him on the street, I think they'd be like, oh, he's dressing down or making the suit interesting by adding this. It's not that, oh, this guy is French, but he happens to be wearing a suit. Like, I don't think that's what happens there. And that's what I choose to do, because say I'm wearing Ivy Trad, right? You know, maybe like navy blazer, like gray flannels or something, right? You know, I wouldn't do a beret with khakis. It's a little too weird for me. But like, you know, wearing that with an OCBD rep tie or Fuller tie, add a beret, kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. You know, it's subverting the security guard look, so to speak, right? Just like how if I wore like a beanie with that, it's also subverting the security guard look.
Right.
You know, or you know, I wear it with like check. I mean, I wear check jackets like all the fucking time. You know, and it's that's fine, that's cool. But adding the beret adds an extra sense of interest to it, and you know, it makes it different. You know, and it applies to what my biggest pet peeve when in menswear is about defaulting. You know, leaning on classics and basics and having a quote regular look. And I don't like doing that, but a beret inherently makes it different. Or any kind of, you know, of course, headwear. You know, if you wear a fedora with it, wear a beanie with it, it inherently makes it not defaulting because it's an interesting choice, right? And so.
Well, stylistically, Ethan, I totally agree with you, and it's probably why I haven't abandoned. That's why I still hold on to the idea, probably because it's so good for what you say. Dressing now in a tailored outfit, it is actually perfect for that. But again,
and
similar.
You know, something I kind of mentioned earlier, like, you know, messy hair and everything. You know, if you don't have hair, or you don't have long hair, a beret kind of acts as a kind of like slouchy top piece. Because again, a fedora, you can have like the kind of tilt, you can have like the brim kind of down, right? The beanie is kind of, you know, it doesn't really have, the beanie is kind of like a skull cap, right? It's kind of close, but a beret as a kind of slouch. I mean, to me, I make connotations to like a middle part in my hair, right? And it kind of, you know, makes bangs or kind of, you know, goes off to the side of my head. And so if I want to wear something, but also evoke that same feeling, there's the beret right there. And I'm sure Spencer might be able to agree, like, you know, Spencer has a shaved head, but I'm sure a beret would add interest to the top part of it. Like, you know, it's an accessory for the top of your head.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Instead of leaning on like a dad cap, which a dad cap is slouchy in itself, but it's not, it's slouchy of an overall vibe, but a dad cap isn't slouchy. You know what I mean? Like,
comparatively.
Well, because it's like, you know, like I've said this before, most of the time when I leave the house, I wear a hat just out of practicality. But I mean, yeah, a dad cap just kind of like doesn't really, you know, go noticed most of the time, but a beret would definitely be a little bit more noticeable.
Yeah,
I feel like the
Well,
net cap really enhances what you're wearing. Like it really draws the eye to it. You know, it really because if you're just boring, then it's just like you're any other guy. You know.
And you don't want to be like that.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
no.
Spencer, why don't you talk a little more about how you would pull off gray and what you would wear with it?
I mean, I think I would wear it in a very similar way to Ethan Newton. This would, I don't, well, maybe I should, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe I should just go for like a wool one, because I think most of the outfits I would wear them with would be in winter anyway. I don't think I would wear a beret a whole lot during the summer. But
I was gonna say, what were the other types? Like what, linen or what other?
Yeah, because
fabrics?
again, you know, we talked about this before,
that's
but
true. I mean, yeah, because you have that brown beret.
I have
the HW Dog and Co. Yeah.
HW Dog and Co. I got this because so full backstory. I'm friends with the couple that runs Burlington, which is in Singapore. No, sorry, in Indonesia, in Jakarta, and I saw that she wore berets, and you know, I was like, hey, you know, Indonesia is very humid. It's an island nation, obviously. Where do you wearing berets? Are they the wool ones? She goes, I have some wool ones for like winter, but I also wear this paper one from HW Dog and Co.
Oh, right.
In Japan. And I'm like, oh shit, I should have got it when I was there. And she goes, well, they can ship internationally. And so I went there and I got this paper. I don't know if you can see through it because it's again
it's very translucent.
But it's a very open weave, you know. And the thing is, I have a wool felt one from my mom and my grandma because they wore it. So it's kind of a fun kind of thing to do there. Oh. And it has a stem and it fits a little bit closer. So actually, for me in the winter, I actually prefer that one, the shape of that one more. And the black one with the paper one from HW Dog and Co. Even though it's really porous, it's a lot slouchier. It's a lot baggier because there's a way more. Like it doesn't fit like a skull cap. It's very oversized and it's one size.
If I did wait for those to come back in stock, it would probably be just for the shape. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the only ways that I would wear it would be, as you said, to dress down more formal looks, or alternatively, I would I would wear them more casual with, but kind of I don't know. Ethan Newton does this, I'm sure, wearing them with like the kind of more like rugged but not necessarily true vintage looks. So like turtlenecks and like field jackets or whatever.
Right.
That's just off the top of my head. But
Tony Sylvester also does it too.
Yeah. Tony Sylvester is like basically how I would do it.
Yeah. This goes off of what something Ethan said earlier, but for me personally, I think I'd wear it with pretty much any outfit that I would wear right now with a knit cap, I guess. So more rugged, full winter sorts of looks, I think. And yes, for that, I'd probably get a wool felt. I can't really see myself doing the summer beret.
It's tough.
Yeah. But the winter beret, and I would replace a knit cap with that. When I eventually get a beret, anything from really like a work jacket, like a Pendleton or something, like a buffalo plaid Pendleton, all the way to like a tweed sport coat, I guess.
Right. I mean, so something I was thinking of now is I actually prefer wearing it with tailoring, aka with like a tie, maybe a turtleneck or something like that. I don't actually like it with really casual stuff.
Would you do it with really proper tailoring though, like worsted wool suits, like two-piece suits with ties?
I think so.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really wear a lot of like regular worsted wool other than my suit, but because I wear a lot of cotton suits, flannel suits, or whatever, so it kind of tends to go with that a little bit more. But in terms of like, I don't think it looks good with like say if I wore like I've actually done this. I don't mind. It doesn't look bad, but I wore my what do you call it? I wore my Palm Beach double-breasted suit with the right. Anthology knit T-shirt, and I wore a black beret with it with some black loafers. And that look doesn't look bad, but for me, it just seemed a little off. I mean, I tried it; it looks good, but there's something about really summery, casual looks that I don't think look good with a beret.
On that note, though, have you worn? I think I recall seeing you wear the beret with your cream dinner jacket, right? Is that something you did once?
I mean, that's a classic look. I think that's straight from a Lawrence Fellows illustration.
I'm sure it is.
Riviera black tie.
And also, there's a great picture of Ethan Newton wearing.
Yeah.
It's like I don't think it's a knit cap. I think it's just kind of like a bald cap kind of thing that he wore. Maybe he just shaved it or something. But he looks super cool wearing that with like a white dinner jacket and everything. And I think that looks super cool. But I don't know. Maybe it's because like I'd rather have messy hair in the summer. Kind of like you're outside kind of a deal. I don't know what it is about it. In general, I don't wear a lot of headwear in the summer, obviously for practical reasons because it's hot. Like even though it's very porous, it still will trap heat because it's wearing a layer.
It's still a layer at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly. So that could be it. And of course, in summertime, you tend to wear a lot more t-shirts, loop collar shirts. But I mean, and I think the beret looks really well with darker color palettes. Like checks, plaids. Like I think that if I wore a sports shirt in like the early fall, maybe wear like an open collar sports shirt with a navy blazer and some jeans, wearing a beret with that's kind of cool. But wearing like a beret with like linens might be a little bit weird. But I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud. It's a very casual stream, but I'm just thinking.
Wait, Wednesday's the casual stream, Ethan?
Oh fuck!
Yeah, come on.
It's semi-casual.
Fucked up.
I mean, there's a lot of examples of Japanese Americana guys who wear it with like t-shirts and like khakis, right? Maybe not Ivy, but like kind of like Japanese streetwear who do it that way, and that's kind of cool. I like the challenge. I like the idea of wearing a beret to dress down a tailored look, as opposed to just having it as a catch-all. As Spencer and Alger said, you wear it in place of a knit cap when one with tailoring. Because I think that if I'm being casual, I might just not wear a cap at all. And I think that so shouldn't. Right now when I do casual looks, I tend to do, especially with shorts. I don't think a beret looks good with shorts. Maybe +4s, but that's a little bit different. But wearing the schoolboy outfit, I don't really think a beret works with that. A dad cap might be better, or just having messy hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
children don't wear berets, and that's the one thing you got to know about them.
Then you should be
something you grow into.
Yeah.
Jeremy says I shouldn't be wearing with white tie. I think I don't know. Maybe I would wear with white tie. See, that one's kind of fun because you're subverting the white tie aesthetic.
Expected headwear.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of why I wore it with my white dinner jacket to Dapper Day, to the evening event at LACMA, which again was a great event.
Quick tangent if I may. White tie is supposed to wear top out of that. Would you ever do that?
No.
Ever? Yeah. No.
Wait, what?
I don't.
Did you wear a top hat?
First off,
that's what you're supposed to wear anyway.
Yes.
I feel like I could do it. I feel like I could wear anything within classic menswear. I've seen plenty of guys pull it off. Vintage guys, vintage enthusiasts, or true vintage pictures or whatever. But as a conscious choice, probably not.
Yeah.
That's kind of me.
Wouldn't it be great if you just pulled a 180 and went back to like all vintage, like all formal, no casual, just complete like starched everything?
Yeah, 10 years from now.
I never did that. I never did that. I don't know if I would adopt it. Unless by some freak of nature, if I would adopt.
Freak of nature.
Freak of nature. A freak accident.
Yeah, you're falling in
all of the
toxic
above.
waste.
Yeah, and he comes out in morning dress.
Yeah.
By stream lunchtime in the Philippines. Oh, Palco, man! I didn't even know you were from the Philippines. Now
you do.
Salamat for watching. God, that was a horrible Filipino accent for me. I was born in LA, bro.
You were born in the darkness.
It's part of the brand. Terrible Filipino accent.
But yeah, hey, Matt, what do you think of the beret? I know that we've kind of heard from Spencer and Al just a little bit. What about you?
As you said, Burlington had unlocked something I repressed in my mind. I had bought from Burlington Coat Factory for like my freshman year. Sorry guys, Siri showed up on my Mac, and so I don't know if it interfered with my audio.
It did.
But anyway,
Damn it, Siri.
Burlington Coat Factory got a beret that's made of wool, and I wore it in the style of like a flat cap, like forward. I wore it like backwards. I did not wear it in the traditional beret thing, and that's just how I wore it. And so I did that for like a few years. But as we were talking, I think there's a picture of you, Ethan, when maybe in your leather jacket one, where you're wearing maybe gray flannels, I don't know, some high-waisted trouser that's gray with a tie and like a Farrell knit and the leather jacket, and then you got a beret on. I feel like, I don't know, and maybe that doesn't exist, but it's like it's a vibe or an aesthetic that I enjoy, because it's not like you're just wearing a suit. You know, it's like a bit of that casual, a bit of the formal jacket. Yeah, you probably got the jacket. Yeah, so I like that idea.
What color was the leather jacket?
Oh, it was black.
Oh, that definitely.
Rider.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good like combination, I think, where it's just like you got enough different textures in there. You got the nice sweater, but you also have the leather jacket and then the beret. It's all just different vibes coming together. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I would like it like almost like I could see it like I like to wear my M43 a lot. So even if I just had that and a t-shirt and just like the beret, I don't know, I feel like that could work. Just sort of that kind of youth rebellion
look.
Yeah, I think that if I could lean into that maybe, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's because never say never. I'm like making lots of growth and style journeys, so I'm sure that maybe at some point I would do something like that. But it's not something on my radar at the moment. But who knows? I think that could maybe exist in the future. I like the idea of it. It probably would be like a wool, something textured, you know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are all good points there. I think, you know, I haven't done it with like Menswear because I don't think I could lean that far into the military connotations to it.
Is it kind of like your bucket hat with M43 thing? Very nom.
I feel better about doing that than the beret. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's not the bucket hat's more. It doesn't have as strong a symbolism as beret. I think
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Right. Okay.
You know, I'm also thinking. You know, I have a red beret, which is kind of fun to do. You guys have seen Rushmore, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that's true.
Mine is very red. I don't know if I'd ever wear it outside of a costume because it's really.
I know about red. It's even stronger. It has an even stronger military connotation to me.
A lot of angry men.
Well, I mean, absolutely, because I mean, in the movie, so you got it for a Rushmore costume. In the movie, he's wearing it because of the militant, the kind of militant look.
Yeah, and it was I think the British Airborne Division, right? And they had red berets, and that was their traditional headgear. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, it's all about, you know, if like there's a good example or a quote earlier that I think Jeremy in our chat said, but he said like the reason why I guess Japanese Americana can pull it off is because they're Japanese and not French. It might be harder for like a white guy to do it because then maybe you think that they are French or leaning into it, you know. Probably not always the case, but you know, it's definitely worth thinking of. And I think, you know, this could be a future stream or something where like I feel like I'm afforded a lot of leeway in that, you know, I'm a brown person of color. I'm Filipino, so I don't really have some of the weird connotations that other people might have.
Like you're reclaiming a look or something.
Yeah. I'm not giving it new context because, like, again, like when Japanese guys wear it, you know, they like in general, like wearing ivy, they are literally not wasps, right? They literally are not because they're Japanese. So
it's passingly clear in that case.
So that's why I think all this thing, that's something to think about too when you're wearing the beret. It's like, you know, you're not French. You're not. I mean, there are also people of color in France. Don't get us wrong.
Well, to go back to my point though, it wasn't that. My issue was being mistaken for something that I'm not, more than being being
that. I don't. It seems like this is like a common thread, kind of.
It is,
in your style.
I'm saying, yeah. It's.
I mean, I guess like that. I think that's just going down to once again just a difference between how we think of clothes. Where Ethan and I might think of it more in the kind of like Ralph Lauren style, like I don't know, like fantasy.
Yeah, like we were talking really great stuff in the Discord earlier about Matt talked about film clothing and like dressing like literally as a film character, and this could actually be our topic for next Wednesday.
Yeah, because
I'd like to talk about.
I had some more thoughts on that. I typed out.
Hey guys, keep watching out, and hey, I think that'll mean that Kyo should be back.
I could probably come to the Wednesday one to talk about that.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We don't know. We'll see what happens. But it's that idea that we do live in kind of like a quote fantasy world, at least when we're creating the outfits, and so it gives us a lot of leeway there. But I mean, not to push your mentality a little bit, but I feel like, you're not a businessman, and you're wearing a suit, and you'd also have a bit more of a conservative approach to even tailoring than say I do, with all my pattern mixing or whatever. So, I think even there, you're kind of subverting the expectations of like what a typical suit wearer would be, right? So then, for me, you expand that to everything. It's like, okay, well then now everything's almost fair game,
Yeah, it's the struggle I have and will continue to have. I don't want to bore the rest of the guys here with just me saying symbolism. I can't reconcile the symbolism because that's endless. But to go to your point, Ethan, though, about having a bit more leeway as a visible minority, I guess. I totally agree with that. Maybe this could be another topic at some point. I don't know how much you guys can talk about it, but certainly, because at the very least, we could wear Hawaiian shirts and khakis, for example. We probably won't get Boogaloo Boy comments, whereas Spencer and Mass might.
Filipinos also wear aloha shirts. I kind of got that also.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where, I think people should try it. You don't have to do it like talk about.
Why did that explode, man? Like, it just kind of went over a hill and then just blew up.
Through the woods.
Okay.
We're talking about...
the Vespa brought to you by the Ford Pinto.
Yeah.
Adam, who in the Discord, every week I kind of share an outfit of his, and he's kind of going through a style journey. I don't think he'll ever wear the beret, but it's about, I hope that people see what I wear and expand on that mentality, because I think I'm pretty clear in how I approach clothing and as I write it completely, the thought process. So, again, it's like kind of finding out what the beret is for you, like that thing that might be a little bit edgy, might have a weird connotation, but you like it or you're intrigued by it, and I think you should try it. If you like it, you should buy it.
That's
a
one
high brain. You guys see the high brain?
That's a good one.
Brett Gelman.
Really, Brett Gelman.
Oh my god, love him.